Chapter 27. The Council of Fractures. The council hall had always felt vast to Elara. Today, it felt immense. Sunlight poured through towering crystalline windows, refracting into soft prisms that drifted across polished floors like silent observers. The chamber rose in elegant tiers, each lined with seats of carved lightstone, where councilors and advisors gathered in quiet murmurs. At the center stood the circular dais, a symbol of unity, or at least it had once been. Elara walked forward beside Kaelen, the faint glow of the tether drawing countless curious glances. Commander Seris followed a few steps behind, her presence steady and watchful. At the far end, High Councilor Maelis took her seat, flanked by the senior council, figures whose decisions shaped the fate of Aethelgard. "Proceed," Maelis said. Her voice echoed gently through the chamber. Elara stepped onto the dais. She felt the weight immediately, expectation pressing like gravity. "We are facing a systemic failure. The anchor is destabilizing. The imbalance between realms has reached critical levels." A low murmur spread. One councilor, tall, severe, leaned forward. "Your claims are extraordinary," he said. "Explain the evidence." Elara gestured toward Kaelen. "He has maintained equilibrium below for decades. Without his intervention, collapse would have begun long ago." The councilor's gaze sharpened. "We are to trust the word of one who has long been regarded as adversarial?" Kaelen spoke calmly. "Trust is not required. Observation is." Another councilor, older, thoughtful, spoke. "Lady Elara, are you suggesting that our light gilding contributes to the instability?" Elara met her gaze. "Yes." The chamber fell silent. Maelis steepled her fingers. "Clarify," she said. Elara took a steady breath. "Our systems draw energy not only from solar flux, but through inter-realm resonance. Over centuries, extraction has exceeded replenishment. The anchor compensates, but it is nearing failure." A councilor scoffed softly. "Light gilding has sustained this city for generations." "And it still can," Elara said, "but only if recalibrated." A sharper voice cut in. "And what would that require?" Elara hesitated, knowing the answer would not be welcome. "Reduced extraction and cooperative flow restoration with the world below." Murmurs rose, louder now. "Impossible. Risky. Unverified." Kaelen remained silent, watching. Maelis raised a hand, restoring order. "You propose partnership," she said. "Yes," Elara replied. Maelis's gaze lingered on the tether. "And this bond, is it coincidence?" Elara shook her head. "No, it appears to be a stabilizing mechanism." A councilor frowned. "Meaning?" Kaelen answered. "The system recognizes imbalance and seeks alignment through those capable of mediating it." Another councilor leaned forward, expression unreadable. "And if we decline," Kaelen's voice was calm, "then the system will continue to deteriorate." Silence settled, heavy, thoughtful. Then a voice from the upper tier spoke. "And what of the risks to our citizens?" All eyes turned. Councilor Thane, a figure known for his pragmatic, sometimes controversial positions, stood slowly. "Reduced extraction could weaken structural integrity. We must consider survival." Elara met his gaze. "That is exactly what we are doing." Thane's eyes flicked briefly to Kaelen, then back to Maelis. "Perhaps," he said carefully, "we should explore alternative safeguards." Elara felt a faint unease at his tone, subtle but present. Maelis nodded slowly. "We will deliberate," she said. But before she could continue, a soft tremor ran through the chamber, barely perceptible, yet unmistakable. Light patterns along the walls flickered briefly. A ripple of murmurs followed. Elara felt her pulse quicken. "It's worsening," she said quietly. Maelis rose. "Engineering divisions will report immediately. Council will reconvene shortly." She looked at Elara. "You will remain available." Elara inclined her head. "Of course." Maelis's gaze shifted to Kaelen. "You as well." Kaelen nodded once. As the chamber began to disperse, tension lingered like static in the air. Seris approached quietly. "Not everyone agrees," she said. Elara exhaled softly. "I noticed." Seris's voice lowered. "There are factions. Some believe the current system should be preserved at any cost." Elara's unease deepened. "At any cost," she repeated. Later, as twilight settled over the city, Elara stood on an upper terrace overlooking cascading gardens glowing in soft evening light. Kaelen joined her, hands resting lightly on the railing. The sky burned in shades of gold and violet. "It is beautiful," he said. "Yes," Elara replied. "It always is at this hour." They stood in quiet for a moment. Then Kaelen spoke softly. "You carry their hopes and their fears." She gave a faint smile. "So do you." A gentle breeze stirred. Elara glanced at him. "Are you angry?" she asked. He considered. "No," he said. "Concerned." She nodded. "Me too." He looked out across the city, at its glowing towers, its quiet strength. "They built something extraordinary," he said. "Yes," she replied softly. He turned slightly toward her. "Now we must help them keep it." The tether pulsed gently between them, steady as a heartbeat. Below, lights flickered on across the city like stars rising to meet the night. Yet somewhere within its radiant core, unseen tensions gathered, subtle shifts that hinted at deeper fractures still hidden. And within the council, quiet discussions had already begun, not all of them hopeful.